What was your defining moment where you said, fuck it, let's do this? You and I.
God told me.
When was your defining moment? When did it click for you?
God told me. I was in a truck with another guy.
Oh, here we go.
I was.
You want to talk about war? Let's go to war, motherfucker. Okay, now tell a story.
I was
like
driving home from a trip, and I was dating multiple people because that's what most of us do when we're dating. Because it's like, I don't know, is it this guy? Is it this guy? And you're doing your thing. And I was in a truck driving home, and I was so uncomfortable. And then I sit there and I was like, why am I so uncomfortable? And I sat with it. And God was literally like, you know where you want to be. So why are you here? And then I got home and I told you, I was like, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and it was nothing against the other people I was dating. They're all wonderful too. But it was that I knew.
Not wonderful enough, apparently.
Energetically, that you were the man that
Mm-hmm.
I truly wanted to be with all of my heart and all of my soul. And I made that decision. And it doesn't mean we didn't become exclusive that day.
Right.
I made that decision. And it literally just clicked that day.
Yep.
And I honored that. And
everybody's got a story, and it doesn't need to be this romantic, you know, so we were sitting on a mountaintop and this and the other. You were literally with another dude. And God was like, yo, this ain't your dude. Like, Sean's your dude.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay. For me, I was driving home from the racetrack one day, and it's weird, like, because like this is what makes our relationship cool. Is there's a lot of stuff in our experience together that would have otherwise been deal breakers had we been operating with our old operating system.
Yeah.
Like you and I upgraded ourselves and up-leveled ourselves emotionally, psychologically. That some of the things that we even experienced together 6 months prior would have been deal breakers. We would have never talked to each other again.
Yeah.
Or had we been with other people, right? And like literally, Sax has told me this. I knew you were on a trip with another dude and doing your thing. I saw your social media. I know the game, whatever. And the same, almost this very similar situation with me. I was driving home from the racetrack one day, and I remember you texting me. And, you know, we had not, to this point, talked about being exclusive. We were seeing each other more and more and more. And, you know, you were doing you, I was doing me, but energetically we were both drawing closer to each other, but neither of us had that click, that aha moment where it was like, I'm all in. Yours came from that experience, is what I'm saying, is yours came coming back there, but you and I had not met there together yet. I wasn't there yet. I was still like drawing closer and closer to you. I'm driving home from the racetrack, and I get a text message from you, and you said, just so you know, I just got these text messages from this girl who I was still seeing, and, you know, she sent me a bunch of screenshots and and the whole thing. And instantly in my mind, I was like, yep, there it is. Like, she's going to say, oh, you're a piece of shit, I wasn't lying to you. I wasn't deceiving you.
Right.
I wasn't being dishonest to you. We had never talked about being exclusive. I had never said we were exclusive. And in that moment, I was like, okay, this is where she bounces. This is where she explodes. And I remember picking up the phone, calling you, saying, are you good? Do you want to talk about this? And to be totally candid, at the time I was feeling more and more and more feelings for you, and stronger connection to you, and a lesser connection with other people. And I was pulling away from other people and moving in the direction of you and I. And obviously these people that I was with knew that and felt that and saw that and became very bitter about this, hence sending you text messages. Yeah. And I remember you saying to me, you know, no, this has nothing to do with me. And like that rocked me. I was like, what the fuck did she just say? You said, no, this has nothing to do with me. This is, you know, truly nothing to do with you and I. This is obviously something that, as I saw these text messages, I have an emotion around them, but you and I have never talked about being exclusive. You know where I am, and this is what it is. And I remember being dumbfounded. I remember in my mind thinking, like, she's either exactly what I've scripted and exactly what I've wanted, or she's completely full of shit. You're either the best fucking liar and the best manipulator, or you are literally exactly what I want. And in that moment, as I was driving home, I remember like having a conversation with God. I was like, all right, dude, I'm going to try this. Like, I'm in. Like, I had not been willing to be all in. I had not wanted to be all in. I had been terrified of being all in. Yeah. And that drive home, as I said to you on the phone, I'm like, all right, cool, come over and let's have some dinner and watch a movie or whatever. You're like, okay. And I remember hanging up, having a conversation with God, like, okay, like, you're putting this woman in front of me that This is literally the exact scenario that I've wanted to have with a woman. It was mature. They could have a conversation around intense things with me. It wouldn't be losing her shit little girl stuff that I had experienced in the past.
Yeah.
And I remember telling God, okay, I'm in. And I told God before I told you, I was like, I'm in 100% on this deal. And I'm going to go full tilt with Saxony. Like, I'm going to give her everything. And that in that moment, everything was different. I shut everything else off. You shut everything else off. We both had a conversation and said, let's do this. And I think that's what helped us we got married. Nobody even knew we were getting married. We just fast-tracked the whole thing. It was like, when you get to a certain place, in my opinion, guys, like, especially those of you that are dating, like, time's irrelevant. Time is completely irrelevant. Like, you could meet somebody in 30 days, have a truer connection than somebody that you've known for 30 years. You could meet someone and literally in a matter of a few months, like you and I, be dating exclusively and go, this is literally exactly what I want. So what else are you going to do? Keep looking? Well, maybe there's better, or maybe there's this, or maybe there's that. Like, I literally scripted you. I drew you out. I knew exactly how I wanted everything in my life to look with my woman, and I had it with you. And it was like, okay, I'm either going to self-sabotage this and say, well, let me keep trying, or I'm too scared of this. I put my big boy pants on. I told God, like, all right, I'm choosing this woman. I'm all in. You chose me. You went all in, and that was it. Yeah. The rest is history.
And honestly, the fact that we dated 1.0 and 2.0, it made everything, it was so clear. We had so much clarity because I had seen the growth from the moment I met you to the moment we went all in. And with myself, like, it was this clear roadmap and this clear timeline. To me, it was just like game on. Like, I believed I knew where we had been. I knew what we had built. Like, individually, and I'm like, we're gonna build epic shit together. Yeah. There was no question in my mind.
Well, you said something to me too that was really, guys, if you know my story, you know my story. If you don't, I don't want to talk about it. I don't need to get into it really, but like, I was in a textbook trauma bond relationship, and I was in a really, really, really unhealthy relationship for a number of years after my divorce. And I remember you saying to me that you weren't surprised why I had trust issues based off of how someone would react. Yeah. Meaning you were looking at this other woman sending you text messages trying to, like, gain favor of you and be your friend by, like, throwing me under the bus. And you're like, no wonder you have fucking trust issues. These are the type of people that you surround yourself with. And that was true. Yeah. It was totally true. And when you said that to me, it was like, holy fuck, dude, like, this girl, a completely different level, a different reality, like a completely different human being than I had ever experienced before, a level of maturity that I had never experienced before in a woman. And it was like, it's weird because I don't say as men, but for me, I looked at the scenario of having you there and everything that I had scripted, and it was like, what are you going to do with it? It's like God giving you what you asked for, and then you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do with it now. Hot potato.
Kitty.
I'm going to throw it over here. Oh, shit. I'm scared of that. What do I do? And it was like, no, dude, like, you have two choices. Fuck this up and do what you're used to doing, which is playing small, or go after take this gift, if you will, that God's given you and build with it and run with it. And that was a hard decision. That was a truly hard decision. But what was really interesting to me is you showed up in the exact ways that I needed to trust and to believe. Yeah. And I think, vice versa. There's some experiences that I know that we've both had together in that regard, and things that you've said to me in ways that you've just shown up where that experience never came back up. That experience driving home from the racetrack was never, quote unquote, used against me. It was never used as a manipulative tool. It was never thrown back in my face. It was just like, this is what it is. Here's where I stand. Here's where you stand. What are we going to do? And it completely rewrote the game for me. Hence, here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.